This weekend, the Toyo Tyres Motorsport UK British Rallycross Championship heads to Lydden Hill in Kent. Glorious weather, a big crowd and a good entry as well, as we look forward to the second instalment in this battle between Julian Godfrey and Derek Tohill. It was Julian Godfrey who came out on top at Silverstone in the opening round of the championship. On Silverstone's tight and twisty circuit, Godfrey bolted away at the start of the final, and Irishman Tohill did everything he could to find a way back onto terms with the Mitsubishi Mirage, but it just wasn't to be. So 5 times British champion Julian Godfrey leads the title race ahead of Derek Tohill, and then Pat Duran. It's Steve Hill 4th from Mike Manning and Steve Mundy in 6th.
Julian Godfrey's second round of the British Rallycross Championship. You're here at Lydden Hill with a different car to the car you raced to victory in round 1 at Silverstone. What's the story with the Fiesta appearance?
We started getting the Fiesta out. Like Spencer Sport did a very good deal on the Mirage, but this year they can't do as good a deal they did last year. So if we sort of run with the Fiesta for the rest of the year and see how it goes. The starts are always very good on the Mirage and very good traction off the start line. So the Fiesta's not as good there, but the Fiesta still turns in very, very well. So hopefully we can still be at the top.
Q1 ready to go. This is a restart because as the lights go green, Ollie O'Donovan has already been given an extra joker lap because of a false start first time around. He gets the first of the jokers out of the way now though, diving down towards that right-hander on the joker lap round the outside of Chesnon's Drift. Powering his way across the loose then for the first time, but it's Julian Godfrey that has the advantage as you look at the Subaru of Nigel Burke that's about to get gobbled up by O'Donovan, who blasts through on the inside. And Ollie O'Donovan needs points this weekend, having missed Silverstone. Problems in practice, putting it on the sidelines. O'Donovan at work, turning his way out of the hairpin and now down the hill. Through they turn. Julian Godfrey it is that has the advantage, reunited with the Fiesta, and it's the more recent Fiesta shape in the hands of Ollie O'Donovan that looks the quicker, but O'Donovan has got work to do here with another joker lap yet to serve. Across the loose he goes now. Through the dust, kicked up by the cars ahead, as meantime the Subaru fight is at war, and Liam Manning is about to get up the inside of Nigel Burke there, and the Welsh driver goes through on the inside line. The green and black, almost zebra-striped style Subaru gains a place, but it's slow coming out of the hairpin. Liam Manning losing out. Nigel Burke goes back ahead of him here. The two Subarus together as they drop downhill, heading through paddock now. You can see it's a different pace they're running at compared to the likes of O'Donovan and Godfrey. They're just not using as much of the road. Julian Godfrey, though, is heading for a race win, seemingly. Down towards paddock he comes. So the Fiesta is back, and back in style. Julian Godfrey in a car that he's not raced for well over a season, threads his way over the loose. Ollie O'Donovan chasing hard. The checkered flag is waved, and it is a win for Julian Godfrey. The second half of the Supercar entry is go. Good start by Steve Hill as he bolts clear from the middle of the front row. Often here the best place to be, and he cuts across to defend the advantage from Jake Harris as Pat Duran, circuit owner, fends off the challenge of Andy Grant as they work their way through the joker lap for the first time. So Steve Hill it is that leads across the loose back towards tarmac, down the Dover slope, and Andy Grant in the background clobbers one of those markers. That goes for a Burton as Derek Tohill here is third. Tohill up from the back of the grid and he's picking his way through the traffic. Goes to the outside line now of Jake Harris at the hairpin, but he can't find a way through on the outside. But what about the inside? He is coming through and Jake Harris has to make his own arrangements there. Derek Tohill dives through on the inside line. The next target is Steve Hill in the Mitsubishi. So European champion Derek Tohill here, bouncing his way over the curb. And you can see just how much effort has to be put into a Rallycross car round Lydden, round any circuit, to keep it in a straight line. That's Jake Harris serving the joker. It's a longer and slower route through that chicane. Steve Hill here heads in towards the left. Out of the devil's elbow, back on the power, uphill. But has he got the pace to withstand the pressure of Derek Tohill? Runs wide up onto those new curbs just to stretch out the width of the road. The same is true on the approach to paddock. Hill very aggressive coming out of the hairpin, but perhaps too much aggression. Past him goes Tohill like he was standing still. Hill has got a problem. He looks down at the dials and Steve Hill turns into paddock, watching Tohill disappear up the road ahead of him. Something then has gone awry for Steve Hill, and he's got to limp on to the end now if he can get there. But the bigger question is, can the car be repaired for later on in the day? This is a big worry for him now. Steve Hill is persevering because he wants a time and he wants to get to the end of this race, but it could even be the end of the day, never mind the end of just Q1. Up past him now comes Pat Duran, and one fears for Steve Hill for the rest of the day, as there is Mike Manning. You saw son Liam out in the earlier race, and Mike, who's doing some British and a full European campaign this year, heads across the loose. But Derek Turhill, second in the championship, never won at Lydden in the British Series. Is he going to win today? Let's see. Tough opposition, but he's made short work of the opposition in this first heat. He comes now up towards the line, and it is going to be a race win for Derek Turhill. Pat Duran coming through here, the Citroën C4 heading up towards the line as he takes the checkered flag. At the end of Q1, Ollie O'Donovan given back one of those joker laps, so he ends up with the best time. In fact, it was an error by the officials to give him the jump start.
For your second appearance in British Rallycross this year, it's the second round at Lydden Hill, the first time you've been here in a supercar, and it's going pretty well so far.
Yeah, good start to the day. Practice car felt great. First heat we started at the back, so that was a heat to just try and get through, and yeah, we got through us and we've got fastest time, so very good start to the weekend. As I say, love this track. Weather is great, there's a big crowd here, so it looks as though it's going to be a close day, but we're in the game, which is great.
Q2 is go. This, the slower batch of cars, so you've got the Manning family up against Nigel Burke, and it is Mike Manning who leads. Liam Manning seemingly having had a problem because he was really sluggish away from the line there. Mike Manning then storms clear. What can he do in terms of a time to get himself a good grid position for the final? We'll see. Nigel Burke is the man doing the chasing there. Look, as he turns now out of the Devil's Elbow, you see the extra curb put in so people can run a little bit wider without getting onto the grass, without ploughing up the greenery. And the Welshman, Mike Manning, an experienced rallycrosser, and it's good to have him back in the sport after a bit of hill climb experience in recent years. He comes down towards paddock with Nigel Burke's ever-improving Subaru doing the chasing here. One fears, though, for Liam Manning because it was a slow start and he's just not being able to respond. There he is. Has he got a problem? You can see there's just no energy being driven through that car. He has a problem for sure, but he's getting to the end of the race, which is going to be won, it seems, by his dad. Mike Manning then comes out of the hairpin, back on the power, downhill he will plunge towards the right at paddock, and Mike Manning is looking good for a race win here. But where will the time put him relative to the quicker drivers that we'll see in the second race? There's the flag, and it's Mike Manning who wins this first race in Q2. Ollie O'Donovan ready at the front of the grid with Derek Turhill and Julian Godfrey alongside him. The lights go to green and away they go. Good start is made by Derek Turhill, middle of the front row, off on the grippier part of the road, and so it's Turhill that goes for the joker with Julian Godfrey right from the start here. Turning their way through that little chicane as O'Donovan and then Jake Harris behind him, and Pat Duran and Andy Grant all sprint clear. They have done the normal lap. O'Donovan through the Devil's Elbow. It is Jake Harris doing the chasing. They head uphill, so Godfrey and Turhill doing the joker. Now Derek Turhill is another driver here who has got a second joker lap to do, incidentally, because of a false start first time around. O'Donovan really, really wide there over the curb and onto the grass. Car almost getting away from him again at paddock then. He's absolutely on the ragged edge. Harris runs second, Duran is third, and Turhill and Godfrey now trying to pick their way up the order, having jokered right at the start. Andy Grant, the garage owner, this time goes for the joker lap. We missed him at Silverstone, it's good to have him back. Through that chicane he will go, as O'Donovan then tries to break away. He had a miserable visit to Silverstone, only got as far as free practice, so he's determined to score and score well here, which he needs to do for the title race. Hard on the brakes, going up Harry Hill now, then to the hairpin, the car bouncing on the suspension. Is O'Donovan going to be as wide as he was a lap ago? The answer is no, it's much neater and tidier this time, but again the back steps out of line going into paddock. He's being chased hard by Jake Harris, who understeers once more across that loose section. Years ago, Mab's back would have been there to catch you out. Now you've got a bit more room. So O'Donovan goes for the joker. Now where is he going to blend back in? Let's see. Turns right, turns left, back now onto the loose section. There is Derek Turhill, and Turhill is going to be behind O'Donovan by the look of it. There they are, heading down the Dover slope once more. Brake hard and turn into the Devil's Elbow. O'Donovan is up the curb, Turhill is on his tail. The run into the braking area at the top of the hill. Derek Turhill trying to prise open the door, but O'Donovan seemingly has got the answer. Downhill they come. Remember, Turhill's got to do another joker lap yet, so Julian Godfrey will be in the box seat to gain a place, but he does not seem to have the pace of the Fiestas ahead of him. There's Andy Grant still hustling on in the ex-Andrew Jordan Will Gollop Ford Focus, as now to the second of his jokers goes Derek Turhill. He's going to fall back as a consequence of this. Turhill then blasting his way back over the loose, and there you see he falls behind the traffic. That puts him behind Jake Harris. It means he's going to be fourth on the road here, but Ollie O'Donovan is looking good for a race win as he arrives at the top of the hill. Turns his way through. Julian Godfrey actually is not that far behind him as they drop down now towards paddock, and there's almost contact. Turhill and Harris getting themselves together at the hairpin exit. Derek Turhill crawling all over the back of Jake Harris, but Ollie O'Donovan is going to come through to win. There is the checkered flag. Second goes the way of Julian Godfrey, and Derek Turhill fourth behind Jake Harris. So, at the end of Q2, Ollie O'Donovan is the fastest from Julian Godfrey, Jake Harris third and Derek Turhill in fourth.
Ollie, a bit of confusion there at the start in Q1. You took 2 joker laps, set a time, then got given the second joker time back, so you were fastest, and now you've been fastest again in Q2.
Yeah, the confusion was there was an issue with the lights. They tried to say I jump started and I didn't, and tried to give me 2 jokers. After the event I proved I didn't actually move. There was an issue with the lights, and in fairness, they gave me back to time.
Jake, your first start of the season here at Lydden Hill, 2 solid times in the first 2 qualifiers. How's it been going?
Yeah, solid times. It's mixed feelings currently. We've got some good results, but we're not currently running ALS as we've got a water temp problem. We'll see how the day pans out. Really, we're working on it. We've got lunchtime now, so hopefully we can get the problem solved and we'll be on the pace a little bit more, attached to the back of the others, see if we can get in front and bring it home a bit better in the final.
You had a few problems at Silverstone. The crankshaft broke in free practice, but you're back out today. Car running well?
Yeah, car's running fantastic. I mean, I never doubt the Bardi team, of course. Yeah, turned out good engine, good car. Yeah, we were unlucky in Silverstone. We cracked the crankshaft, and we were probably lucky in one sense that we didn't destroy our engine. We heard a knock and called it a day. And sure enough, when Tony pulled it apart, the crank was in 2 halves in the engine. So we got away light.
And the car's fine today?
Car's absolutely fine, yeah. Absolutely no problems.
Steve, a solid run in round 1 at Silverstone and a fantastic start in Q1 here at Lydden Hill. It didn't go all your way though.
No, bit sad really, but the car's very much better than it was, and we're looking forward to some more improvements later on.
What happened?
Looks like the engine's packed up, got piston burnt I think, so we're not quite sure why. Could be a number of reasons.
You had a few problems at Silverstone getting off the start line, didn't you? So encouraging for you that you were able to beat Derek and lead a competitive race there in Q1?
Yeah, I think we know what the start problems were. We've got that sorted, and we've improved the handling no end. So the car, I'm actually driving the car, and the car's not driving me. It's a big improvement.
You were pretty coy about your situation this season at Silverstone. Are you here for a one-off result, or do you need points towards a campaign?
Our plans are fluid at the minute. We have to wait and see. We get through today and we'll probably make a decision at the end of today. But, we're enjoying the British Championship at the moment. We would like to do possibly Silverstone first round of the European, but if we're enjoying the British Championship more, well then we might just stay here.
Q3 is about to get underway because there, as the lights blink green, Liam and Mike Manning take on Nigel Burke. 2 Subarus versus the Fiesta, and Liam Manning straight away goes to get that joker lap out of the way. Through he turns, onto the loose, out of the chicane, and Liam Manning picks up the pace. Mike Manning, in theory here, should have the better speed, the better pace, and should be able to get away. Let's see whether that's the case as he comes through the left-hander of the Devil's Elbow, makes the climb up the hill now. Nigel Burke, we don't see doing every round of the championship, but he goes storming past Mike Manning under braking as Manning got a problem. Nigel Burke then goes through, fights the car around the corner, out of the hairpin. Is he going to get away? Yes, he is. Manning does have a problem, look. The gap widens and there's nothing the Fiesta can do by way of retaliation. Across the loose, out of paddock, so Nigel Burke here looking good, although all of a sudden Manning has speeded up. Is he playing with him, or has he got an intermittent problem? Suddenly he's back on the boot of the Subaru, and Mike Manning now at a proper pace serves the Joker lap, gets it out of the way, threads through that chicane. Now let's see how much ground he's lost when he comes back onto the loose now, up through the gears. The target is going to be his son Liam, but that Fiesta again just seems hesitant. It doesn't storm away. Certain times it's got the pace, and then it seems to be sluggish again. So whatever Mike Manning's problem is, it seems to have struck once more. The car subdued coming out of the Devil's Elbow. Look, it crawls up the hill, relatively speaking, but then it seems to clear itself and the pace quickens once more. What that means is, though, we're on target for a Subaru battle if Liam Manning, having jokered earlier, when Burke serves the Joker, is right there with him. Across the loose they come, onto the tarmac. That short stretch of tarmac takes you down to Chesson's Drift, around the outside of which, on part of the race circuit, goes Nigel Burke, and then he comes back onto the loose through that chicane. It's tight, it's narrow, it's very, very much slower, and Nigel Burke loses the race lead to Liam Manning, and Mike Manning now suddenly gets the pace to get onto terms with Nigel Burke. So Liam Manning, having jokered earlier, is away for the race win here, but what can Mike Manning do? He's got a bit more grunt again, but can he hang on to the tail of the Subaru? Can he attack? Yes, he can, up the inside, going into the hairpin. The go and slow Fiesta is on a go bit at the moment, and then it slows coming out of the hairpin. Nigel Burke, thanks very much, he thinks, goes back ahead of him. It's almost like Mike Manning's car hits limp home mode. Either way, Liam Manning is going to take the race win. Here comes Mike Manning again to try to attack Burke. He goes on the outside line into Chesson's, round the outside he goes. Now, has he got the advantage? No, he's in all the slippery part of the track on the outside, drifts out wide, so Burke goes back ahead of him. But Mike Manning does at least have the acceleration coming through that section to try to bring down the gap once more. Is it going to be okay going up the hill? It was here a lap ago where it seemed to slow. This lap looks okay, not brilliant, but okay. And Nigel Burke hanging on then to that second place. Where is Mike Manning? He's right there behind him. It was slow out of the hairpin on the last lap. What happens this time? It's slow again because Burke pulls away. Down they come, across the loose at paddock. It's going to be a race win for Liam Manning. Nigel Burke will take second, just of a troubled Mike Manning. So Liam Manning is the winner. Mike Manning has some head scratching to do now. Race 2 in Q3. O'Donovan, Godfrey, Harris at the front of the grid. Derek Tohill packed around on row 2. Andy Grant at the back as the lights go green, and it's blast off with a really good start made by Jake Harris there. Ollie O'Donovan leads the pack then across the loose, fighting for traction. Jake Harris and Pat Duran go for the Joker to get that out of the way. So it's O'Donovan versus Tohill. There's a very Irish feel to the British Rallycross Championship this afternoon at Lydden. Julian Godfrey running in third, Andy Grant fourth then as they head up the hill here. This is Derek Tohill's view. Brakes hard, goes down through the gears, turns in. Ollie O'Donovan ahead, understeer, oversteer, Tohill sideways as well. Godfrey making it 3 Fiestas in the top 3. There is Derek Tohill threading his way now across that loose section that brings him up at the end of lap 1, bouncing across the loose section again. Brief burst of tarmac and then plunge onto Chesson's Drift. Godfrey now goes for the Joker. Loads of pace into the corner, has to slow it down and then go through that chicane. Up front though, O'Donovan and Derek Tohill are together. Absolutely flat out onto the Dover slope, brake hard into the Devil's Elbow. O'Donovan trying to fend off Tohill, but there's nothing he can do because Derek Tohill has got the pace to stay with him and maybe even attack now. Let's see. A wheel lifting O'Donovan has the advantage. Out of the hairpin he goes. Tohill is getting closer. O'Donovan moves across into the middle of the road, defends. He's sideways into paddock. He's all right with O'Donovan's car, but just seems to be a little bit more sideways than he would ideally like. He goes wide now onto that Joker lap as you see Godfrey, then Harris, then Duran going through. There is Ollie O'Donovan, very sideways as he bounces his way back through that chicane onto the loose. Where is Derek Tohill in comparison? Can Tohill get the race lead? I think he has done. Julian Godfrey is there in third place now on the back of O'Donovan. So Derek Tohill is looking very good indeed up front now. There's Godfrey hustling on behind O'Donovan. The race preparation expert on the back of O'Donovan. Out of the hairpin they come. So Godfrey, winner at Silverstone in the Mitsubishi Mirage, now back behind the wheel of this Fiesta. And O'Donovan is very, very sideways going into paddock. Godfrey goes through, but Ollie O'Donovan, either he's got a problem or he made a mistake there. There is Derek Tohill going for the Joker. So he leaves that to the very end and he will rejoin just ahead of Julian Godfrey. But what has happened to O'Donovan? Was that a mistake? It's possible, I suppose, that he might have a puncture, which is why he went very, very sideways, but that was far from the normal line. There is O'Donovan. He's still going, but he's losing touch with the top two. Jake Harris closing up onto the back of him now as they turn out of the hairpin. Pat Duran not quite having the pace that he would like here. He's next in the queue, but Derek Tohill looks like he's on target for a race win. Checkered flag at the ready, and honours in Q3 go the way of Derek Tohill. Julian Godfrey is second, and who is going to be third? It's O'Donovan, only just. He certainly has got a problem. Harris and Duran right with him at the end. But what has happened to Ollie O'Donovan? There's the answer. It is a puncture. Left rear has gone pop. So Derek Tohill wins Q3 from Julian Godfrey, with Ollie O'Donovan third. It's Jake Harris fourth ahead of Pat Duran, and then Andy Grant sixth fastest.
Ollie, a puncture in Q3, but you remain top of the intermediate classification, pole position for the final.
Yeah, we were a little bit lucky, Hal. On lap 2, I think we done the Joker lap, and coming off the Joker, I picked up something in the gravel, punched the tyre, and it went down slowly. So I think lap 3 was pretty okay, and then it deflated completely when I put under pressure on the bottom of the hill here. It's a bit hairy hanging on for a lap on a puncture, but luckily we finished third, and that was enough to keep us in pole.
Tristan Uppenden was the man to beat at Silverstone in the Super National category. Let's see what happens here at Lydden. Well, so far, so good for him. Fastest in Q1 ahead of Paige Bellaby, and the returning Darren Scott. Peter McGarry only fourth. Uppenden fastest again in Q2 from Bellaby, Scott and Craig Lomax as we get set for Q3. Green lights go on, and it's blast off for the Motorsport UK Super National Rallycross Championship Q3. Tristan Uppenden, Paige Bellaby, Darren Scott all at the front of the grid, and Scott and Paul Coney there serve the Joker lap right at the start. Uppenden's Clio ideally suited to this circuit. Paige Bellaby needs it to be wetter, tighter and twistier for the Lotus Exige to have a real chance. Local man Uppenden leads out of the hairpin. Bellaby second. Uppenden across the loose out of paddock and looking as though he's going to be fastest across Q1, 2 and 3. There is no stopping the mighty V6 Clio here. Darren Scott versus Paul Coney. Good Super 1600 fight going on here. Coney in the Corsa on the back of the Citroën. Checkered flag at the ready. Tristan Uppenden is on target to absolutely wipe the floor with the rest of them in qualifying as Coney attacks Scott for third place. Checkered flag time. Tristan Uppenden wins Q3. Paige Bellaby second, and who's going to be third? It's just Darren Scott ahead of Paul Coney. So Tristan Uppenden it is who tops qualifying yet again. Paige Bellaby second from Darren Scott, Paul Coney, and then Craig Lomax fifth from Leanne Sedgwick, sixth fastest. It means that Uppenden, Bellaby and Scott are through to the final at the very front ahead of Lomax, Coney and Dave Ellis, sixth fastest. Always a highlight of any Toyo Tyres Motorsport UK British Rallycross Championship event is the Motorsport UK Junior Rallycross Championship. Won at Silverstone by Luke Constantine, but here at Lydden Hill, Roberts Vitols has been the man to beat across all 3 qualifying runs. Roberts Vitols then is the man, the Latvian, on pole position. Luke Constantine with him at the front of the grid. Patrick O'Donovan on the outside of row 1. Row 2, Tom Uppenden and James Constantine. The third row is Ben Sayer, Archie Thomas and then Alfie Porter. Lights go green. We are away and racing. Everybody accelerates off now down towards Chesson's Drift for the first time. And the cars bounce their way across the loose section with Roberts Vitols being the man in charge. Vitols it is ahead. Constantine, Luke Constantine in second spot. Those that are doing the Joker lap, including Alfie Porter, making contact with the barriers there. But Vitols has the advantage as the cars now come down through the Devil's Elbow. The top 2 trying to get away, but Tom Uppenden has made a decent start. He's up into third, and Ben Sayer fourth from being on the back row of the grid. To the hairpin they come then. Brake hard through that tight right. And Tom Ovenden in his first year of junior rallycross, keeping Ben Sayer at bay in his sophomore year. Down towards the right at paddock comes Vitals in the lead. Now, can Luke Constantine do anything here about getting back onto terms with the race leader? Let's see. Luke Constantine back onto the tarmac. He was the man that was second in the championship last year, just 2 points away from winning the championship as Ben Sayer there, look, goes for the Joker lap. The former karter and motocrosser, third in the championship last year, heads back towards the loose, but it's Vitals up front. He made his debut in British Rallycross at Lydden in one of the Clubman's events last year. He's driving also this year in Super 1600 in the Latvian Championship. He's got a Peugeot at his disposal. But right now, the focus is to try to win this junior round at Lydden, and he comes through the hairpin looking pretty good up front. Second, Luke Constantine doing the chasing, and Tom Ovenden from the second row of the grid looking good in that third place. Patrick O'Donovan is the one, certainly on the Jokers, that has dropped back a little bit at the moment. But as the stagger unwinds, let's see where he is at the end of the 6-lap final. Across the loose, out of that chicane. A strip of tarmac and then some turn right at Chessons. Others go for the Joker lap, including Tom Ovenden here. Son of Tristan Ovenden, the man to beat within the Super National class. And can we get young Tom onto the podium as well? His dad's going great guns at the moment with that V6 Clio. So down towards the Devil's Elbow goes the leading battle. Patrick O'Donovan in the meantime is coming under attack. Right there with him from the second row of the grid is James Constantine, the man that was fourth in the championship last year, cousin of Luke, who's going so well up front. Ben Sayer behind after jokering, and he in turn has now got himself ahead of Ovenden. So Sayers on the Joker lap gains a place. There's Patrick O'Donovan, second generation racer of course, Dad Ollie O'Donovan, one of the stars of the supercar class. Ovenden now with work to do, but Roberts Vitals it is leading the way as they come through paddock. There is this battle pack headed by O'Donovan. Sayer keeping Ovenden at bay. And James Constantine there in the green car in the mix as well. These 1300cc Suzuki Swifts, and you're looking at number 107, which is Luke Constantine then. So he was second behind Roberts Vitals. He gets the Joker out of the way. He maintains track position. Now let's see what he can do then as the cars sprint their way once again up towards the Devil's Elbow. Brake hard, turn into the corner. Battles rage on all the way through the field here, and you're looking at car number 8 going through. James Constantine trying to attack, trying to defend, and someone's got a problem. It's Vitals. The race leader slows heading up the hill. Roberts Vitals, the race leader, has got a big problem. The car has got into limp home mode almost. He's crawling out of the hairpin, trying to hang on to a place, trying to just get to the end and get some points out of this, and then suddenly the car picks up pace again. He gets up the inside of Ovenden. The leader goes through to start the last lap. Ovenden is forced out wide, and Vitals now has got the pace back in the car. So whatever it is that's going on, now he's got a bit more pace once more. Very strange indeed as you see Alfie Porter there coming out of the hairpin. Porter in his debut season of Rallycross in the car that last year was taken to the championship by Tom Constantine. However, it is now nose to tail between Luke Constantine and Patrick O'Donovan. So as all the Jokers were going through, it looked as though O'Donovan had lost out. Now he's right on the tail of the race leader and closing up, in fact, going into the tight right at the top of the hill at the hairpin. But for the moment, Luke Constantine is able to keep him at bay. Now they accelerate down the hill once again here, but this is the last time of asking. Into paddock, Luke Constantine looking to make it 2 from 2, but Patrick O'Donovan has got the speed. He's going to run out of time though. Constantine wins at Lydden. Patrick O'Donovan comes through for second, and third over the line is James Constantine. Roberts Vitals, though, the real hard luck story of the race. Down in 6th, having led the bulk of it. He's behind Tom Ovenden and Ben Sayer. The top 3 though, James Constantine is third behind Patrick O'Donovan and Luke Constantine. Luke Constantine's championship lead increases over Patrick O'Donovan. James Constantine is up to third at the expense now of Roberts Vitals. Ben Sayer 5th, and it's Tom Ovenden in 6th.
Luke, a second win in a row, but that wasn't straightforward by any means, was it?
No, it was a really tough day with Vitals. He was really fast today. He definitely deserved it. He was pulling out stunning lap times through all of the heats, and he was really quick today around Lydden. With a car problem in the final, we just nipped him, so yeah, it was really close.
We had a really strong day. We managed to get it from 8th to 3rd in the first heat and just kind of made our way up throughout the day there. It was tough to get past the competition throughout the day. Everybody was really pushing hard and being on point throughout the day. Both rounds now, finishing within a second of Luke. We'll get him one day, but yeah, looking forward to Pembrey.
We are ready for the Super National final here at Lydden Hill, the Motorsport UK Super National Rallycross Championship, headed by the man on pole, Tristan Avondon, Paige Bellaby and Darren Scott alongside. Craig Lomax and Paul Coney are on row 2, ahead of Dave Ellis, Leanne Sedgwick and Vince Bristow at the back of the grid in that spectacular BMW. Lights go green. Good start made by Avondon. He unleashes the Clio V6 and storms away down towards Cheshunt's Drift. Darren Scott goes for the Joker, so does Craig Lomax, who gets into the door of Paul Coney and turns him sideways. And Lomax just gets through ahead as they wriggle their way from the Joker back down towards the loose. On board with Bellaby now. Avondon ahead, getting away a little bit. Paige Bellaby in the Lotus, then in second spot. Third is Leanne Sedgwick, Vince Bristow fourth, and then Dave Ellis with the Suzuki Swift next in the queue. They head uphill. Vince Bristow struggling a bit for grunt, it seems, there, because Ellis has a look to the outside line, brakes hard, and then turns into the hairpin. The 3 Series BMW is about to come under attack from Darren Scott, who missed Silverstone, but he's going well here. Avondon, though, is absolutely flying. Scott goes through on the inside of Vince Bristow, who gets all crossed up in the dirt. The car bouncing out sideways, but now blasts over the line. So Darren Scott sets off in pursuit of Leanne Sedgwick, and there is Vince Bristow. He's on that Joker lap, brakes hard, flicks the car through the right and then the left and then the right again, steps back onto the loose as Dave Ellis comes under attack now from Craig Lomax. Leanne Sedgwick, however, in the Mini is under attack from the Citroën, there in the hands of Darren Scott. Tries to go right round the outside, which he does, and that puts him in the ideal line up towards the hairpin. Scott goes through, gains a place. The race leader, Tristan Avondon, then clear of Paige Bellaby. The Lotus Exceed blasting its way now with the back skipping into the air back towards tarmac. Leanne Sedgwick going through with a touch of understeer. There Dave Ellis going through with one of the drivers expected to go well this weekend, Peter McGarry, having retired in Q2, not making it into the final, having gone pretty well at Silverstone. That's taken a bit of the pressure away from the likes of Avondon and Bellaby. With the wheel pouring the air, Tristan Avondon comes out of the Devil's Elbow and climbs the hill once more, as Paul Coney now is ahead of Craig Lomax and he's about to make a move against Dave Ellis. He will go through, will he? The Corsa goes through on the inside. Up the curb goes Paul Coney. Good three-way battle going on here. The Super 1600s and Super Nationals all merged together. And there you see Craig Lomax going ahead of Dave Ellis on the outside line. Tristan Avondon, though, is just ticking off the laps here. This circuit, with the long, fast sweeps, really does lend itself to that V6 Clio. Paige Bellaby needing it to be wetter and or tighter and or twistier. Even so, second place is a pretty good result. Second gear out of the chicane, back on the power. Tristan Avondon, again, three-wheeling his way round that tight left of the Devil's Elbow, is looking good for the race win. He's concentrating not only on his own racing today, but that of his son Tom, who is now on the junior Rallycross grid. As you see there, Dave Ellis, new to the championship this weekend, stepping down back onto the normal lap, coming out of the Joker through Cheshunt's Drift. Avondon, though, is heading for another win. He won at Silverstone, and it looks as though a second of the season is on target here. Serves the Joker, the Clio, immaculate, goes right and left. He accelerates down the Dover slope once more as Paige Bellaby is looking good for second place here. So much effort having to be put into the car. Third gear is grabbed, back towards the tarmac, up to fourth. But Paige Bellaby looking strong for second place, even if she's not going to have the pace of the Clio. But Darren Scott here, with the best of the Super 1600 spec cars, is going fantastically well. Well clear of the class opposition and staying pretty much on the coattails of the Lotus Exceed in second place to Paige Bellaby. Downhill comes Paige. It's going to be a win, though, for Tristan Avondon. Through he comes, out of the chicane. One more lap to run now. Checkered flag will be made ready at the end of the next lap. Bellaby there going through in second spot. Paige Bellaby still hustling on. Paul Coney in the meantime now with Leanne Sedgwick between him and the Craig Lomax driven Citroën, which goes for the inside as Leanne Sedgwick now goes for the Joker lap. So the Mini drops down the order as a consequence. Up front though, it is all looking good here for Tristan Ovenden. He comes out of the hairpin, he blasts his way downhill and heads now into the right-hander of Paddock. A race win is going to go his way. With it, an increased lead in the championship, and it's a win on home soil, and it's going to be 2 from 2 in the Super National Championship. Tristan Ovenden wins at Lydden Hill. Paige Bellamy chases him home in second place, and third, an inspired third, goes the way of the best of the Super 1600s, that of Darren Scott. Paul Coney comes through next. He takes the checkered flag. So it is a win for Tristan Ovenden from Paige Bellamy, Darren Scott, with Paul Coney fourth ahead of Craig Lomax.
The car just seems to keep getting better and better and better. Another fantastic victory at your home circuit.
Yeah, it's really, I do try really hard here, and it has worked out actually, because I think there was some fellas from Ireland that I thought would be quick, and he hasn't had much luck today, but he was quick, his lap time was good, so I thought we were going to be up against it a bit more, but it worked out, and I'm so pleased to win our home event, yeah.
You've been in this position quite a few times now, a really strong drive from yourself, but Tristan's just got such a powerful engine in that Clio, hasn't he?
Yeah, he does, and we are working towards building another engine to go in the Lotus to try and give us that little bit more power to at least be able to compete with Tristan for the win. But it is what it is at the minute. We can only pray for some bad weather.
At Pembrey next time out, your car suits that track a lot better. It's a bit tighter, a bit twistier. Looking forward to more there?
Yeah, absolutely. I've had some really good results at Pembrey over the years, and so it'll be exciting to get back. I believe they're making some more changes to the circuit, so it'll be really interesting to see what they do, because each time it seems to just get better.
Darren, you missed the first round at Silverstone, back for your home round here at Lydden Hill, and a fantastic drive. You fought your way back up through the field in the final and finished on the podium.
Yeah, I must admit the day couldn't have gone any better, should I say. We've had no problems whatsoever. We've done a lot of progress with the car over the winter and done a rally in January, just to change a few things, and it's been good as gold. It was quite nice to look in my mirror in the final and see Craig and Paul fighting for that joker lap. And to get going and sort of try and catch up to Paige, over the moon.
As far as the championship is concerned then, Tristan Ovenden now has a 10-point advantage over Paige Bellamy, who's up to second, and it's Craig Lomax up to third as Peter McGarry falls to fourth. It is time for the Supercar final in the Toyo Tyres Motorsport UK British Rallycross Championship. Is it going to be an Irishman or an Englishman to come out on top? Julian Godfrey made the running in Q1, but ultimately Ollie O'Donovan got the best time. The Irishman fastest in Q1. We had a good Subaru battle between Nigel Burke and Liam Manning, but it's all been about the Fiestas today. The same was true in Q2. Tohill, Godfrey and O'Donovan, all of them having the pace. O'Donovan ran wide coming out of the hairpin, but that didn't slow him. Derek Tohill chased as hard as he could, but once again it was Double OD who came out on top. But a puncture late in the race in Q3 badly affected O'Donovan, and that gave Derek Tohill the chance to be the fastest as he came through to take honours in the third qualifying race of the day. Now, it's all eyes on who will win the final. At the end of qualifying, Ollie O'Donovan will take pole position, but Derek Tohill on the middle of the front row has Julian Godfrey alongside him. Jake Harris has had a good day, so too has Pat Duran.
At this circuit, particularly, arguably the most difficult grid position to be in on the front row, because you can't make your decision about when to joker before the race. You've got to see how it plays out, really.
Just get a better start on the pair of them and be gone. That's the end of it. Job done.
Julian, solid day for you. Nothing spectacular, but you've been there at the front all day long. Outside of the front row for the final, what can you do from there?
Not a bad place to be. If I can get a good start, then probably go straight into the joker, keep out of trouble, and so try and just keep going and get the points.
Starting on pole position, that's obviously the best place to be, and also leaves you no option about whether you take the joker or go in the standard lap on the first lap.
Not really. I think best place to be here is actually second on the grid, because in pole you're down in that hole, plus you have to pick up the gravel from the giant of the main track. It's not the best place to be. I prefer to start from second. Both Julian and Derek have outrun me today from the middle of the grid, so it's pretty. I think I'd have been happier being second, but there you go. We're in pole, we'll make the best of it.
Pat, second round of British RX, your home circuit, going pretty well?
Yeah, I think so now. We seem to have been a bit down on power for the last few heats and even the last event. but we've got it back now, so hopefully we'll be able to compete out there.
Intercooler problem you had at Silverstone, is that a legacy of that?
Well, yeah, I think so. We thought that was a problem. It was a problem, but there was something else as well. So, but all fixed now, so no excuses.
We're ready to go racing then. The final is formed here at Lydden. This is the Toyo Tyres Motorsport UK British Rallycross Championship, and the man on pole position is Ollie O'Donovan. Derek Tohill is with him on the middle of the front row, Julian Godfrey on the outside. Row 2 is Jake Harris with Pat Duran for company. Then it is Andy Grant, Nigel Burke and Liam Manning in as a reserve. Dan Mike stepping out of the race. Everybody looks towards the lights, which any second will blink green now. Who makes the best start? Good getaway by Tohill, even better getaway by Godfrey. Derek Tohill does not joker, and therefore Ollie O'Donovan has to go with him. They're side by side round Chesson's Drift. Godfrey jokers, so does Liam Manning, but it's O'Donovan who comes out ahead, and that could well be crucial. There is Godfrey, he's joking, he's got it out of the way. Now he can push to the end of this 6-lap race. O'Donovan leads the pack. Tohill being given a tough time by Jake Harris, goes out of the devil's elbow. They climb the hill together now. Brake hard, down through the gears, touch the handbrake to drag the car around. There's a bit of damage look on the front of Derek Tohill's car, where he rubbed up against Ollie O'Donovan, but it is O'Donovan away by, 2 lengths as they drop down towards paddock. Harris third, Duran is fourth. Across the loose they bounce now up to the end of lap number 1 of the 6, and O'Donovan does lead the way as Duran jokers, but I reckon the gap's come down a smidge between the top 2. Tohill is getting closer to O'Donovan. Duran gets very sideways there into that chicane on the joker lap. Andy Grant is behind him, and there are the race leaders, and the gap is definitely less. Derek Tohill taking Jake Harris with him. Jake having one of his best days in a supercar, not that far adrift in third place. This is O'Donovan's view. 4th, 3rd, second gear, down to first, grab the handbrake, up the curb, gets sideways. Where is Derek Tohill in all of this? Can he find a way through on pace, or does he have to try and do it on the jokers? Down they come, into paddock, turn right. Lower down, Andy Grant has got Nigel Burke for company. Focus versus Impreza, the Subaru chasing the Ford. Derek Tohill now goes for that joker. Ollie O'Donovan does not. Nigel Burke heading Liam Manning in the Subaru fight. Derek Tohill bounces his way out of the chicane, and there is Julian Godfrey. This is going to be crucial. Godfrey can't quite get up alongside Tohill, so on the jokers, Derek Tohill, despite the back of the car falling apart around him, he is ahead now. Andy Grant gets the joker done now, makes his way back onto the loose, and Derek Tohill's car has certainly picked up big damage on the front and now more at the back, but despite bodywork peeling away from the car, he is ahead of Julian Godfrey, and so now it's game on as far as the race lead is concerned. O'Donovan has the gap, and very wide goes Harris, but when O'Donovan jokers, will this man, Derek Tohill, in what's left of his Fiesta, get the race lead? Let's see. O'Donovan goes for the joker, Harris jokers behind him. Where is Derek Tohill? It's going to be close, it's going to be very close. It is going to be Derek Tohill ahead. He's gone through on the joker lap. Derek Tohill leads at Lydden. He's never had a British Championship victory here before. This could well be the day. And Derek Tohill, with smoke pouring off the back of the car, with bodywork falling off the back as well, has the advantage as they now dive into the hairpin. O'Donovan closing right up under braking. He can't get too close because there's all of this car in his way, coming off the back of Derek Tohill's Fiesta. That bodywork peel back like a tin can. Across the loose they go. Just wonder whether the officials are going to be happy to let that carry on as Andy Grant goes through on the inside there of Nigel Burke. He goes through and gains a place in the process, but he understeers a bit wide coming out of the hairpin, and Burke gets back through. Derek Tohill, with bodywork now starting to peel itself off, flies into the face of O'Donovan. That's always the fear. Bodywork flies and it hits the car behind. O'Donovan isn't phased, it seems, by that. Julian Godfrey still there in third place, but O'Donovan can't really stay close enough. He is good under braking again there. Look, you see the gap come down, but Derek Tohill sprints clear out of the hairpin. Into paddock, through that right, then flick, left and right, back onto the tarmac oh so briefly, and then plunge onto the loose at Chesson's Drift. They all clamber up the curb there, but Tohill, after the joker, is getting away. You could argue it's because the car is lighter, but equally it may not be 100% fit after the damage has been sustained. There's clearly contact to create all of that damage. Bits of car in the middle of the road, there's damage on the front, lots of damage on the back, and Derek Tohill leads, but now who is going to be second? He is getting away, but it's game on for second spot between now O'Donovan and Godfrey. Grant is ahead of Manning, is ahead of Burke. There is O'Donovan. and Julian Godfrey has dropped back a little bit. Now has Godfrey got a problem? Suddenly the pressure is released from Ollie O'Donovan. The race leader is Derek Tohill, who looks as though he's heading for a win at Lydden Hill. He sprints his way through the chicane. Checkered flag is waved and Derek Tohill wins round 2 of the Toyo Tyres British Rallycross Championship. Second is Ollie O'Donovan, and third will go the way of a delayed Julian Godfrey. Right at the very end, something has gone wrong with Godfrey's car as Andy Grant understeers out of the hairpin. So drama all the way through the race here at Lydden. Andy Grant is on target here for 6th place, despite all the understeer that you can see there. He's going to be ahead of Liam Manning 7th and Nigel Burke 8th, but it's a win for Derek Tohill. Race results first of all. Derek Tohill is the winner from Ollie O'Donovan and Julian Godfrey. Jake Harris 4th ahead of Pat Duran, and Andy Grant in 6th.
Derek Tohill 2nd at Silverstone. Your first ever British Rallycross Championship victory here at Lydden Hill must be a fantastic feeling.
Amazing, yeah. Great job by everyone all day. To work hard first, but I felt we really earned it. It was a kind of a gritty, it was a hustle out there with Ollie, you know. Brilliant end to the day to get the win.
And the championship lead with it.
Fantastic, yeah. So I guess we'll be here for round 3, so.
Yeah, it was a very hard race. I mean, Derek did make the better start, but I did manage to stay in front of him for Chessons, and stayed in front of him for 2 laps, really, and he made me work very hard. And I was surprised when he jokered that he actually found 2 seconds in the next lap, because when I jokered, Derek was clean in front of me and I couldn't really catch him. I'll just stay with him for the last of the race, but I couldn't do anything about it.
Julian, I think it's fair to say that you didn't have the ultimate pace today, but you were, as always, there or thereabouts and right there in the final.
That's right, yeah. No, we had a few problems during the day with Trishaft in first heat, a few problems in second heat, and then Ken Belt jumped the tooth in the third heat. But in the final, it was going well until the last lap, the intercooler hose split. So it hasn't got quite the grip out the corners as the Mirage has, but need a bit more work on it to improve it.
So let's see what all of this does to the championship. We have a new leader. That's Derek Tohill, 2 points ahead of Julian Godfrey. Pat Duran 3rd ahead of Steve Hill and Mike Manning. The next stop is going to be Pembrey, a crucial double-header weekend in Wales.